watch it.
YOLO. This is like have children.
What are we talking about?
I don't know if I'm ready for this yet, so I might have a seltzer. Wow. I'm waiting for my tea to cool off. I know it's a weird combination.
It's very weird. Okay.
You know.
Welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Melissa and this is Jessica. And welcome back to the channel. I'm Melissa and this is Jessica. And today we are going to talk about the best cardio for fat loss. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell to turn on notifications. But then you should also comment below too, because every Monday we give away a $50 Amazon gift card to one lucky person that comments. You just went off script completely.
I know, but I feel like that's important. Make sure you comment. Like, if you want a $50 Amazon gift card, you can buy so many cool things with
But
that.
you have to like it, you have to subscribe, and you have to comment, like all three things.
So do it.
Okay.
It's not hard.
Well, okay. What is the best cardio for fat loss?
Well, I think that the answer might surprise everybody watching it, and we're just gonna say it because no one wants to watch 20 minutes of video to figure out what the actual answer is. So the best cardio for fat loss is actually walking, which is like, you're just like, how is that cardio?
So like half of you probably just like, okay, whatever, like that's not what I wanted to hear, because you want to like hear, like, you have to sweat and like do this crazy shit. And so you can go ahead and leave if you'd like to. If you want to know why that steps is best for fat loss, then you can stick around and listen, and we'll try to get through it quickly because I've been listening to her talk all day. So
I've been listening to you talk since 1990. It's been a long time.
Your voice is just a little different.
Okay. Yes, if you are looking for like some crazy answer of like wanting to know how many like crazy classes do I have to do, how many hours of cardio should I be doing each week, this is probably not what you want to hear. But if you've been doing that, that's also probably why you're not seeing the results that you want to see. So if you are in a place where you want to lose weight and you want to do it efficiently, you should probably pay attention. I feel like when we talk about cardio, like from a weight loss perspective, right? Whenever we think about like I need to lose weight, what are the first things that come to mind? HIIT workouts, beach body,
well,
like
that's
on
the
demand.
thing is that like all of these diet, like anywhere you look, like whether it's like Facebook, Google, like, you know, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, like all of the diet programs are like cardio first. Like everyone leads with cardio, and it's usually this like high intensity, like we're dancing around, we're jumping, like we're doing all these things that make us look like idiots, but it's not actually like getting you the results because you've been doing it for how long and you still look the same.
Yeah, and so that's what it's like, right? All the HIIT, I feel like beach body is a big thing.
Yeah.
I feel like when people are like, oh my God, I get such a good workout in, they're the people that are going to like the F45 classes or the Orange Theory classes or things like that, where you're right, it is a lot of like jumping around. Like even when you go to the gym, right? Like you're probably not walking to the weight section. You're probably making a beeline for the cardio section, and you're doing, I mean, the other day I watched a woman literally get on 5 different pieces of cardio equipment, like 20 minutes on the Stairmaster, 20 minutes on the treadmill, 20 minutes on the elliptical, 20 minutes on the spin bike. It's just an absurd amount of cardio. I think that people associate cardio with weight loss because what's happening? You're sweating. You're out of breath.
Yeah. You actually feel like you're suffering.
Right.
And people, for whatever reason, associate like I'm doing something right if I'm in pain or if I'm like suffering or whatever. It's like, you know, like
you equate weight loss with suffering.
Yes, exactly.
All your diets cause you to suffer. All of your exercise cause you to suffer. It's miserable. And so I think for that reason, like when people are like, what's the best cardio for weight loss? You're looking for something that's going to actually make you suffer. Yeah. And the reality is it doesn't have to be that way. And I think this all ties back to this whole theory that like we're always told is that at the end of the day, weight loss comes down to this idea of calories in versus calories out.
Right. It's always like a just eat less and work out more mentality.
I mean, how many times have you ever been told that in your life or even thought it? And while that's true to a degree, like, yes, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, just generally speaking. You need to be in a calorie surplus to gain weight, generally speaking. When we make it like that reductionistic, we're not accounting for like all of our physiology, right? Like our body processes that, like metabolism, for example, right? Just the same way that your body becomes adapted to like super low calories over time, your body becomes adapted to these high intensity, like long cardio sessions. If you are looking at like one cardio session, you're doing it for 30 minutes, you're burning X amount of calories. Over time, because your body is a really smart machine, it starts to adapt to that level of output because from your body's perspective, it's like, okay, I'm doing all this output, I'm not getting a ton of input. I need to like adapt in order to preserve my body fat, essentially. I don't want to run out of body fat and die.
Exactly, and it's the same thing that happens like with your calories, like your calorie intake. So the reason why like you hit plateaus or you feel like you're doing, like you're not really eating anything and you're doing so much exercise, but like the scale isn't moving, like nothing's really happening in like your weight loss journey, is because your body has adapted. And so the only thing you can do at that point is to either continue to eat less and less calories, which means you're essentially starving yourself, or continue to do, you know, more and more cardio, which if you're already someone who's doing an hour of cardio a day, like how much more can you do? You're putting your body
like
through so much.
2 a days, or you're gonna further cut food, and this just kind of creates this cycle where you're moving into a place where it's just not going to be sustainable anymore. Right. Like even 1 hour of cardio a day for most people who don't actually enjoy cardio, which who even enjoys cardio? Like it's very rare. I think anyone enjoys cardio, but that's almost unsustainable to even consider doing an hour a day. That's just ridiculous. But that's what Melissa was saying, right? Like your body moves into this efficiency mode and it doesn't burn as many calories during the same period as it used to. So we have 30-minute cardio session. Your body's used to burning, let's say, 200 calories. Over time, as your body starts to like adapt in order to accommodate that level of output, you might have to do 25 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes to burn the same amount of calories. And that's just digging you into a hole nowhere fast. When we're talking about like exercise for our clients, for the most part, we don't actually like prescribe structured cardio for most people as a weight loss tool.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that so many of our clients are surprised about when they first sign. They're like, well, where is my cardio? Like how much cardio should we be doing? And we're like, well, all we needed to do is start strength training, and we give them a step goal.
For the most part, for most clients, we give them a step goal anywhere between like 6,000 steps to 10,000 steps. And that's something that if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I have these weight loss goals, I would say like, you should get a sense of about how many steps that you're taking. You can buy a $10 step tracker off of Amazon. Wear it for the day. Don't like focus on getting steps, but just like go into, scientist mode. How many steps am I getting a day? For most people, you're probably around like 3,000 to 4,000 steps if you're lucky. And so when you look at it that way, you're like, well, shoot, like where do I need to start, right? You don't need to go from 3,000 to 4,000 steps to all of a sudden hitting 10,000, but 6,000 steps should really be like the bare minimum number of steps that you're taking.
Let's actually get into like why it's important though to get, at least 6,000 steps in per day.
So the reason why walking is the best cardio for weight loss and why we have our clients do, 6,000 to 10,000 steps a day is because it affects your NEAT levels. And NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it's basically a fancy term that it talks about like how many calories your body burns throughout the course of the day during times when you're active and times when you're resting. So your NEAT is really made up of all the activity, all the things that you're doing over the course of the day, both from your structured workouts and your structured cardio sessions, but also from like literally anything else that you're doing, like drinking a cup of tea or watering your plants or
you love that
doing the dishes.
You love the watering your plants.
I just feel like people like water their plants. No, you have to. It's like it's really a mindless, like you're not burning a lot of calories. Anyway, NEAT is all of the calories that are burned throughout the course of the day, both when you have your structured like cardio structured workouts, but also when you're doing literally every single thing else, like the stupidest things, right? Even sleeping, sitting on the couch watching TV, everything. That makes up like your NEAT. And just as humans, like we should aim to always be increasing our NEAT levels, right? Because if you're trying to lose weight, especially, take that out. And so just in general, we want to strive for like higher NEAT levels, right? Because as humans, we are not meant to just be sitting on our asses all day, right?
And I think that's
we need
really
more movement.
Yeah, and I think it's especially hard for like people who have sedentary jobs. Like if you're sitting at a desk all day, at a computer all day, like you're really not, like you kind of wake up, maybe you go get your workout in the morning and then you go to work, or like you work from home and you're sitting down at a computer all day. You maybe kind of get up to get water, go to the bathroom. Like think about like your actual day. How often are you actually moving your body outside of just kind of like typing on the computer.
Yeah, it's crazy when you really stop and think about it. And even if you like, you're like, oh, well, but I work out. Oh, I do cardio. Okay, well, let's say you even go to the gym for like an hour a day. You can't justify moving your body for 1 hour of the day and then sitting on your ass for the other 15 hours of the day and then sleeping for 8 hours a day. Like you've only got 1 hour of movement in for the entire 24 hours. That's like, I'm not good at math, but that is not a good ratio. That's terrible.
It's terrible ratio.
Terrible.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons why, like, you know, walking, things like that, it has a spillover effect for so many other areas, right? Cardiovascular health, improves your digestion, motility, and all of these other things. But at the end of the day, too, just as humans, we're not meant to like sit on our butts all day.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory after what Jess just said, but by increasing your NEAT, you're naturally going to increase the amount of calories that you're burning on a daily basis. So just increasing your daily steps to, you know, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, like once you get it up there, like all of a sudden, without really even going to the gym, doing anything else, you're now burning more calories just by going for a walk.
So at the end of the day, like when you look at it and you zoom out and you look at it over the course of the year, right? Right now, let's say you're only doing 3,000, 4,000 steps a day, if you're lucky. By the end of 4 weeks, if you're up to 10,000 steps a day, think about how many more calories you're burning per day, and then every day over the course of the year, that adds up. So it's almost a quick and easy way. It's like the hidden weapon of weight loss. Like people don't realize that walking is probably one of the most underrated ways to lose weight in the entire world. And if I had to start like my fitness journey all over again, that is probably the first thing that I would start with as well.
Yeah, and that when days when I can't go to the gym, and like I haven't been to the gym in the past 2 weeks just because of my lifestyle and travel and everything, at least like the one thing that you can control is like I can go walk wherever I am. I can go for a walk. So if I can't physically make it to a gym, if I don't have weights at home, I can move my body and I can walk. So it's one thing that you absolutely can control. So just start implementing it and work your way up to at least 6,000, and then eventually you can get up to 10,000.
And then you can just burn all the calories and be losing the weight.
Then eventually you get up to 10,000.
Yes. So like you said, right, that's something you absolutely have control over. Even at the end of the day, sometimes like you're doing laps in your apartment or like I'm doing laps around like my house, or, you know, we have clients who like kind of march around in front of the TV in order to get their steps in. But if you don't want to like do something that drastic, there are some quick and easy things that you can do in order to get in more steps like during the day without having to think like too much about it. One of the first things would be to start or end your day with like 2,000 to 3,000 steps. So that's something that I usually try to do. It's the first thing that I'll do when I'll wake up in the morning, kind of like wake up, brush my teeth, throw on whatever and some shoes and go out, and I like will get a minimum of 2,000 steps every day to like anchor my morning.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to kind of structure your day. I know that in the past when I had more flexibility in my day, or just kind of more time in my life, I would be able to go, you know, kind of in the middle of the day and go for like a full hour walk, and I enjoyed it, and it was a great thing to do, and I got all of my steps done in that time block. But now that I can't do that, I do the same thing where kind of like I'll get up in the morning, I try to knock out at least 2,000 steps before my day really starts. At lunch is where I can kind of go for a little bit longer of a walk, and then at nighttime, usually after dinner and before dinner, I'll go for a walk then too. That way you kind of break it up into chunks, and it's not so like
you have to get like it all done in one
exactly.
shot. I like the idea that you said too of like, you know, going for a walk after a meal. So this is something we tell our clients like with families or kids or whatever, like sit down, have your meal together, and then like take everyone for a walk. That's, you know, an easy way to kind of, number one, bond as a family. Number two, you're not just going to be like eating dinner and then sitting around. Going for a walk is going to help, you know, with digestion. It's going to like get all that motility going, get like your food like processing, that type of a thing. So go for a walk after dinner. Other ways, you could park farther away in, you know, a parking lot. So like instead of parking, looking like driving around, sitting in your car for 8 minutes, circling the parking lot, trying to find like that one spot that's closest, like
go park far away.
And get some extra steps that way. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. You can clean up around your house, right? We have a client who just kind of like, you know, every day I've been setting a timer for 15 minutes, and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk around my house and pick up stuff, and that's how I'm getting extra steps in. Plus my house
really
is
was
tidy.
amazing. I did that like last week in my apartment, and just from walking around, like cleaning things, doing laundry, folding laundry, like back and forth to the laundry room like a million times, I got like 3,000 steps in just by, I didn't even leave my apartment.
It's awesome.
So
I mean, there's ways to do it. Other things like take your kids outside, take your pet outside, like play with it.
Take your work calls like while you're walking if you can.
Yeah,
you know,
it's perfect.
Everyone works from home these days. Just go outside and walk while you're on the call. No one knows.
Especially if you're just listening in on a meeting, right? Like you're not like an active participant. You just pop in your headphones. Even you have a treadmill in your house, get on that. Like walk on that while you're listening to the meeting. Some days, you know, if it's raining outside, this is a very specific example, but I will like respond to emails on my phone. So I'll walk laps in my house and respond to emails on my phone when I'm walking laps. Like there are creative ways. You don't have to just be planted at your desk all day long.
I think that the most important thing though is to get that step tracker, put it on, and just like take a few days and see like where you're naturally falling. Like once you have awareness around what you naturally do right now, you're gonna start to be very conscious of, oh my God, like it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I've gotten 500 steps in today. Like, this is awful. I need to get up and go for a walk immediately.
That was literally my week, like the last week, where it would get to be like 1, 2 o'clock and I literally was under 1,000 steps and I was like, this is not okay. But then you're
But it's like, a good thing because you know, then like it forces you to get up and move.
Anything else?
I don't think so. Get your steps in.
Get your steps in, yep.
That's it.
Do we have to say anything at the end? No?
Not this one.
Okay. So
Good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good.